have a suicide bomber. There's a good firefight in there. Open the door! Gav, let's go!
Suicide bomber's dream, this.
I always feel apprehensive. I think if you're not apprehensive, there's something wrong.
The thing the Taliban will probably never get into their heads is the British Army don't give up.
The conflict in Afghanistan may be subject to a lot of debate. But that's of no consequence to a band of warriors from the Royal Logistic Corps. Day after day, they deliver supplies to the bleak, inhospitable frontline outposts. And no matter how hard the Taliban hit them...
What was that? Stop!
That sounded like an IED, that.
Mate, just quickly see if that fucking radio's on, because I've lost comms.
The road warriors hit them harder.
You are clear to engage.
On today's mission, the road warriors will have to hold their nerve as they travel past previous battles.
Fucking hell, so's that clear?
And smash through into the heartland of Taliban territory.
There's loads of shit kicking off. Did you hear all the explosions?
Yeah.
One of them was fucking massive.
Their journey starts at Camp Bastion, the British forces' main base. With 300 tons of UK stores arriving here every week, delivering it onwards is a huge task.
Which is the wagon that's gone tits up, guys? Which is the one that's fucked?
Ensuring the mission goes to plan
This is what it's all about for me.
is Sergeant Major Larry Lumsden.
This time we're going through one of the most dangerous towns in the Helmand province at the moment, which is Greshk.
The man in charge of the whole convoy
Hopefully luck will be on our side.
is Operation Commander Major Al McIntyre.
It's going to be quite a complex one because over the last 48, 72 hours, the enemy threats significantly increased, so just focuses our mind a little bit more.
For the road warriors, the moments before leaving camp are always tense.
I don't need one, no. Well, you've got the night vision fucking, what do you call it? Got my wife, Kay, and my daughter, Coral, my son, James. They don't really know what I do. I don't tell them when I'm going out and when I'm coming back or anything like that, so it just creates more worry.
Shut one eye, adjust that tool.
I'm not the sort of wife that wants to know the ins and outs of a husband's job. It's his career, it's what he chose to do. He goes off and gets on with it. He's not got long left in, so it'd be nice if it was his last tour.
I could have been at the army in January and I didn't really have to do this, and I fought quite hard to try and get extended for a couple of years so I could come out and do this.
This is the one tour that he's wanted to do. I don't know why, he's just wanted to do this tour.
That's what you want to do as a sergeant major. It's important that you get out, you do at least one operational tour with your troops.
He's very quick-witted, bit of a joker.
Nice little man bag, the latest attachment for Helmand. All right, let's go.
I just miss everything about him, to be honest.
With final checks complete, the road warriors and their 57 heavily armed vehicles move out. Their mission is to deliver 15 truckloads of ammunition to Camp Price before moving on to dismantle Forward Operating Base Gibraltar. The convoy is on Highway 1, a route frequently targeted by the Taliban.
Yeah, looks like our vehicle's been hit.
And just an hour after leaving camp, they have a problem. They suspect the road could have a bomb buried beneath it. The lead vehicle is forced to stop.
Just understand the task vehicles are going to conduct a halt up here.
Yeah, hi sir. All Delta call signs, this is a Roman 3-4 Alpha. Prepare to halt, up Barmer. Delta 1, acknowledge, over.
The man tasked with checking for hidden explosives
Basically, this job is a nightmare.
is Staff Sergeant Lee Davis.
This is the first time I've done it, so I'll make sure I'll have my wits about me. Trouser filler. If I find something, then I'll let you know after. I dread it when the brakes go on.
The search for bombs is called Op Barmer. Carried out with metal detectors, it's nerve-wracking at the best of times. And this is the first time Lee has ever done it. One wrong move could be fatal. Forced to a standstill, the convoy is a 2-mile-long sitting duck, and it's likely Taliban forces are hiding nearby.
So what we've got is all the top covers all the way back down through the patrol. Everybody's scanning to our right and left, making sure that they can see, using the increased sighting systems that we've got in our personal weapons, into the compounds, and just providing an overwatch until we get through this, this vulnerable point.
Taliban spies, known as Dickers, are everywhere in Helmand province. They pass information to the insurgents who bury bombs and prepare ambushes. Keeping a keen eye on the enemy,
we're currently being dicked.
is radio operator Corporal Jonathan Parky Parkin.
The term Dickens used where people that are friendly towards the insurgents, so count up how many vehicles we've got and what we're carrying and stuff like that, what they can make out from us. Basically gather intelligence on us and pass it further down the route so they can get ready for us coming.
The convoy is in full view and has attracted a lot of attention. It's mostly children, but sadly even they can be a risk.
That local wagon that just passed there threw a bottle of pop out to him. They all started fighting over it, which causes a distraction, and everyone wants to watch the kids fighting. At the same time, someone slips in while no one's guarding their position or whatever, you know, and that's how an incident happens. That's why we keep them back.
The boys could be a simple distraction, or they could be something more sinister.
As close back as last Christmas, there was a child who used a suicide bomb and pushing a wheelbarrow. I mean, they just seem like local kids to look at, but you never know what they've got underneath their clothing.
Your kids only getting too close to it?
No, they've all moved off now.
Lee gives the all clear. He successfully completed his first minesweep, and the convoy can move on.
Basically, this job is a nightmare. It's a hard job to do, but we need to do this to get to our locations. Slow going at the minute, but we're making progress, which is the main thing.
But from this point on, the Taliban know they're coming and will have had time to plan their attack. This is southern Afghanistan. And these are the road warriors, men and women of the Royal Logistic Corps. It's their job to deliver vital supplies to troops all over Helmand province. On this mission, the road warriors are resupplying a British Army base called Camp Price with ammunition, and then they'll move on to dismantle the frontline base Gibraltar.
It's mission critical. We've got to get the stores from A to B for the fighting troops on the ground. You know, and the insurgents are aware of this.
The 57-vehicle-long convoy is on one of Afghanistan's main roads, Highway 1. Known as the Highway to Hell, it's a frequent target for insurgents. The road warriors have already stopped to check for explosives and suspect they were spotted by Taliban spies. The enemy now know they're heading this way and will have had time to prime their bombs.
Once you're on this road, they know we're coming. It's too easy just to leave some. Just sit in a compound there, press a button, and that's you.
49-year-old John Laughlin has survived the Falklands War, 8 tours of Northern Ireland and 5 tours of Iraq. But this is his first in Afghanistan.
Been in the army on and off 33 years. I've seen a lot of injuries and seen people killed.
John's previous tour of duty should have been his last.
I'm only really here to bury some ghosts from the past, and once I've done that, I can move on with my life again.
On his last tour of Iraq, John saw the grim reality of the effect of roadside bombs firsthand.
Yep, just driving like this, talking like this. I looked through that window, looked back, windscreens were in, and my driver was in a bad way. You're just talking, and the next minute, you're not talking, you're trying to save his life.
John did all he could to save his friend, but tragically he later died of his injuries.
It's a horrible thing to live with. Says that you did everything in your power to save a boy's life and he never made it. Somebody gave their life to the job, which is ultimate sacrifice, and he should never be forgotten. Will certainly never be forgotten by me. I want to do this tour and make sure everybody I've worked with comes back. Then I can retire and say I've done the job. I just want to say I've done it.
But this is the most dangerous conflict our troops have faced in recent years. A fact the soldiers are constantly reminded of.
Fucking hell. What size is that crater?
The bomb that exploded here claimed the lives of 3 Danish soldiers. It's a risky place to stop.
And conduct a halt to allow the bomber teams to deploy and conduct checks. A Roman 3-4 Bravo acknowledgement.
For the second time this morning, Staff Sergeant Lee Davis and his team put their lives at risk searching for hidden bombs. A common trick insurgents use is to hide more explosives near to previous strikes. Unlike civilian vehicles, most of the Road Warrior trucks are too big to squeeze past the crater safely. Operation Commander Major McIntyre has no choice but to bypass this section of road by detouring through the desert.
You know, we can't get some of our task vehicles through that, so what's happening now, it clears ourselves the route, it gets back on Highway 1, you know, in reasonably good order.
The search must be thorough. The entire convoy will have to drive through. While the route is checked, Major McIntyre passes on some worrying news.
We have a suicide vehicle-borne bomber looking for a coalition force.
The OC's just passed down the patrol, the latest intelligence update, which is that somebody's driving about looking for a target to blow themselves up against.
Taliban spies may have reported the convoy's location, making it a prime target. The trucks can't afford to stay here any longer.
I've been here long enough, I think. Just out of life, they're probably moving out in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Lee finishes the search for explosives and gets safely back in the wagon.
It's been quite a hard one. It's just hard work, that's why it's really hot now. From getting to the hottest part of the day, the dog can't even put his feet on the tarmac. That's how hot it is.
The convoy moves off the road.
That's it now, it's a slowly.
What they've done is they've cleared the lane and then they put the tape either side to make sure that we can see where the clear path is. And just to make sure that the vehicles don't stray outside it, because that's been the cleared route.
If the path hasn't been correctly checked for explosives, they risk the same fate as their Danish allies.
Through the lane, go left, we're through the main tape. That's it. That's it, Gav, just slowly go up, please.
It just brings it home to you, the people there last week. 3 lives have gone just like that. It makes you realise how dangerous this road actually is.
Sergeant Major Larry Lumsden is a veteran of previous campaigns.
The threats evolved massively from when I was in Iraq. It's certainly a lot higher in Afghanistan than it was in any of the previous theatres that I've been in.
And there's a constant threat of suicide bombings.
You know, there is no real way to combat a suicide bomber. If somebody wants to run at a vehicle with explosives strapped to themselves and blow themselves up, it takes a very brave man to aim a weapon system at them and pull the trigger, especially if that person's maybe a young child. You know, we've got intelligence at the moment to tell us that one of the suicide bombers who are primed is 15 years old.
It's an ever-present risk for the road warriors, one that becomes even clearer when they spot the remains of another attack.
Is that the suicide bomber?
That'll be the suicide vehicle as well.
Just days ago, there was a suicide attack here.
There was a vehicle-borne suicide bomber, drove straight into the Afghan National Army, just drove straight into it, which is what suicide bombers do, funny enough. They just drive straight into things.
Fortunately, the road warriors have made it through unscathed to their first drop-off.
Go park and tell them we're turning south into Price now off Highway 1.
Four hours after leaving Camp Bastion, they arrived safely at Camp Price, delivering 15 truckloads of ammunition to the frontline soldiers.
I thought it'd be a lot easier than that. Chuffed to bits. As soon as you get in, helmet off. Chill out a bit. Clean the bag out, because it's minging already. Bottles everywhere, and I don't like that. Dutch, get this fucking shit tidied up in a minute. It's fucking honking. Like your fucking bed space. You're all fucking camp tramps. So get in there now. Who's been eating that? You're all fucking tramps. Look at them tattoos. Embarrassing, isn't it?
Once the last of the loads are dropped off, the road warriors get a chance to relax.
A long couple of days ahead of us. Guys have been up since 5:30 this morning, so we'll try and get as much rest as they can just at the moment, and then we'll see how they get on after.
With the threat of a suicide bomb attack looming, it's too dangerous to move on in daylight, so they delay their departure till nightfall. After 3 hours downtime, Major McIntyre has more bad news.
Right, let's just listen in then. Close right in, please. Right, everyone should have been fed and watered and had a reasonable amount of break. What's happening now, we are not going on to the Lower Garesh Road because there's been a secondary IED there today hitting a patrol on a culvert. So light discipline, it's imperative that we stay dark, okay? That's it from me. Really just stand to your own commanders now. Thanks.
4 section vehicle commanders on me.
The route they planned is just too risky, so they're now going to take another road to outfox the enemy. But they'll be travelling at night. Their headlights will be switched to infrared. Larry does one final check before they move out. But they don't get off to a great start.
Can you head out to the main entrance? Whiskey Free's fucking stuck.
Aaron's stuck! The main entrance! Stuck even before we left camp.
Keep coming! Whoa!
It's Lee and Troop Commander Aaron's vehicle that's in trouble.
That's pissed me right off. You know what I mean? We only left camp.
I don't think I'm ever going to live down getting stuck inside a fob and having to be pulled out by a hat.
Yep, take up the strain. Whoa!
Our route-proven vehicle stuck in camp. Yeah.
Larry can't resist getting on the radio to add to Aaron's humiliation.
We're just making sure that nobody's ever going to mention it to Mr. Pendlebury that he got the lead vehicle bogged in inside of camp.
It's embarrassing, really embarrassing.
You know, we would hate for any of the subalterns or any of the NCOs or senior NCOs to mention it to the troop commander again, ever.
That was embarrassing, eh?
It's now been 14 hours since the road warriors left Camp Bastion. They've resupplied Camp Price with ammunition and are on their way to close down frontline base Gibraltar. Because the convoy is a Taliban target, the trucks are travelling at night using only infrared light.
I've got the night vision devices on, scanning the area, making sure that nothing's going to creep up on us and give us a fright. There's nasty men out there that want to fucking kill you.
The road warriors have intelligence that Taliban extremists are waiting for them in Gareshk, the town they have to pass through.
Main threat is from suicide bomber. It seems that the Taliban are starting to target that area again. They have used a suicide bomber in recent weeks.
We've got some of the most sophisticated kit in the world. You know, it sets us up for success. But you can't factor in some nutter of a fucking father who sends his 10-year-old or 12-year-old kid up, should be explosives strapped to him, to run at an armoured vehicle and detonate himself and explode all over the show.
A remote-controlled spy plane has been launched to look for Taliban activity. Using powerful night vision cameras, it's scouring the area ahead of the convoy.
In the main part of Gareshk now, very eerie suicide bomber that come out from nowhere.
A mini flare is fired at someone getting too close. At this time of night, the troops have to treat any activity as suspicious, or they risk endangering the whole convoy.
No, we need to get through here. The suicide bomber is out there. This is where he'd be situated in between the buildings, so he can get out quickly without us noticing him.
Whiskey 3, just look good eyes on down that alley to the left-hand side, which you're approaching now. Alley to the left-hand side, Whiskey 3, over. Sure fire that car. To your right.
Another mini flare is fired.
There's a lot more activity than we would normally anticipate. I don't want to be hanging about here too long.
Only 12 hours ago, Major Al McIntyre told his troops they were being hunted.
We have a suicide vehicle-borne bomber looking for a coalition force.
Now the British spy plane has spotted a man driving a white car. He's heading straight for the convoy. This seems to confirm their fears of a suicide bomber attack. The road warriors are on course to meet the suspect vehicle head-on. As they move through Gareshk, some trucks are lagging behind, causing gaps in the convoy.
Somebody, you're going to have to tell them to close up.
All call signs, this is Roman 3-4 Alpha. Close up to 30 to 40 metres. Out.
Come on, Gavin, let's get up there!
They're now speeding towards the oncoming threat.
They've got to power through!
What are they taking so fucking long for?
The lead vehicles are through Gareshk and begin to turn off into the desert towards frontline base Gibraltar.
Tell me, get a fucking foot down and follow us on our tracks!
But with 57 vehicles in the convoy to get off the road, time may be running out.
Fucking suicide bomber's dream, this.
The car could be packed with explosives. But air support can't attack because it's impossible to 100% confirm this is the suicide bomber. The spy plane can only keep its sights trained on him.
G the boys up and make sure that they're kept alert. We don't know how long this is going to take over.
Fuck all gets in with 100 metres, mate.
The suspected bomber also turns off the road and waits. But the convoy is heading into the desert. It'll be impossible for the car to follow them through deep sand. The car continues to wait. The eastern desert is littered with mines from previous wars, and there's also a constant risk of getting stuck. Finding a safe route is critical.
This route selection is a lot harder for the vehicles. Find a lot lot of soft sand. All being well, route selection will be good.
The crew in the lead vehicle are responsible for finding a good route, but this one's proving difficult.
Get them to get the diffs in when they go through this, it's soft sand.
All call signs, this is Roman 3-4 Alpha, be aware, soft sand. Acknowledge it.
If the convoy stops, they're vulnerable to attack.
This is the shittiest route that someone's ever fucking taken. Very much doubt we'll get 55 vehicles through this, over.
Already they're running into trouble.
Who's that there? What call sign's that? What are you doing?
Pulling whiskey 2 out, he's walked in.
Right, have you told the front call sign to stop then? Because which way are we going?
Roman 3-4 Bravo.
Hello, Roman 3-4 Charlie, this is Roman 3-4 Alpha. You've got a bog in on Whiskey 2, so if you just want to go for and put your lights on so you can see where you are and what route you're taking over.
And we've just hit some shit sand, some proper shit sand. And there's vehicles been getting bogged in all over the place. The more vehicles that go through the sand, the worse the sand gets. And it's just a vicious circle.
To free the trucks, troops have to walk on ground that hasn't been checked for bombs. Corporal Derek Fozzie Foster
That's 5 so far.
is responsible for recovering the stuck vehicles.
And I've just found another one. The sand is dead soft, like I just walked back to the wagon there. You're taking about 1 step forward and 2 steps back just to catch up, so...
As they struggle to get the convoy moving, Major McIntyre steps in.
Why are you static there and not moving? There's fucking shit happening, yeah? Let the vehicle back, get the fucking vehicle behind you, round you. Yeah, we're fucking about here. Yeah, low aggress road, fucking high threat.
Apart from those seas shouting like fuck at the front.
And you know how to build up pressure before you move out. You should be fucking going back and forth all the time.
It's a dream come true, that's, isn't it? It's a fucking nightmare. Never said it was a good dream, did I?
Five hours later, they're still battling through the desert. But Major McIntyre can't let them rest.
Is there any reason why he's not moving? Get in the PRR and talk to him and ask him.
They're fucked.
They're not rolling the fucking vehicles.
Because they've been going for so long now, they're fucked. Everything's an effort for them. But we've got to keep driving them hard because we need to get them into a secure location.
The convoy is nearing the frontline base and is regrouping on the edge of the green zone, an agricultural area infested by the Taliban. A major British offensive, Panther's Claw, is in full swing. Infantry soldiers are fighting hand-to-hand with the Taliban, trying to flush them out before the Afghan elections. It's a particularly hostile place to be. The road warriors soon find out how dangerous the area is.
Is it going firefighting there?
There's loads of shit kicking off. Did you hear all the explosions? Yeah. One of them was fucking massive, like proper shook the ground.
The Taliban are firing mortars from a hidden location, a tactic called indirect fire, or IDF.
You see the big black clouds there? That's where the IDF is landing, so...
This is not a very nice place to be.
A battle group identify the enemy and return fire to stop them getting closer. Frontline base Gibraltar is too small for all the trucks. So one half of the convoy will have to stay behind. Major McIntyre leads the other half to the British base. Radio operator Parkey knows they won't be made welcome by the Taliban.
They don't really like us going in there. It's where most of the agricultural land is, so it's where the poppy fields and that are. They're happy with us being out here in the desert, they'll have a pop at us when we're out here. As soon as you go into that green zone, you're on their turf, and they know it better than we do.
The vehicles are channeled into a narrow corridor. There's no way of knowing when or where the enemy will strike. The risk of attack is severe, and British infantry soldiers line the route.
That's it, straight on, that's it, you're straight.
The road warriors are in.
Woo! Happy fucking days.
It's definitely seen some action, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Mark L on the BGLO.
Hi, I'm Macintyre. Okay,
Another shit trip down, what?
Because we went down the lower Gress roads to the south of it because of the high threat, you know, there's some more fucking IEDs found in hotspots. It's fucking awful.
No, what's the plan now? You're going to get these 16 in and out?
Fucking right, get the lot in and I'm going to get the lot. I want to get the lot out now. If
the whole 30 lot load?
The whole lot, if we can. That was actually pretty good. The battle group had laid out a very good protective cordon. Faster than I thought we'd get in, and as you've seen here, pretty well received. Should be loaded up within the next 10 minutes.
Captain Mark Hale of the 2nd Battalion, the Rifles, is in charge of the base they've come to help close down.
Stop off it, battalion attack.
Focus is being dismounted so we can rebalance the battle group across Helmand and more specifically up in the Sangi area. But the new place, new challenges and a different kind of patrolling again. So it certainly made the tour, or the rest of the tour, go a lot faster. We've been down here for 4 months now. It's been very difficult. The enemy forces are pretty much all around this place and are usually within 200 to 500 metres. So every time the boys go out, they're under some intense pressure from the insurgents. And unfortunately, we've suffered 2 fatalities and a couple of wounded actually since we've been here.
The road warriors waste no time getting their trucks loaded.
It's always good to see them come in, and it'll be quite good to see them go as well. And then literally ticking the clock down for our final few moments here.
With the trucks loaded, Major McIntyre leads his advance party out of the base. The rest of the road warriors have been getting some sleep before the return journey to Camp Bastion at nightfall. But Larry's got other things on his mind.
Fucking want a cup of tea. I've not had a cup of tea for 2 days. Did you not bring any spare cups? It's not a fucking problem. Cut the bottom off a water bowl. Improvise, adapt and overcome. Go have a cup of tea, see? Have a cup of tea, Sam Major's no grumpy anymore. Everybody gets a fucking easy ride. Isn't that right, Gav? Except Gav. He never gets an easy ride. Anybody can fucking sleep 9 hours in this desert, in this heat, doesn't deserve an easy ride.
The convoy regroups safely, and they have time to relax before the long journey home.
Shitty desert, on the go for 24 hours, lack of sleep, no even shaved, but a cup of tea means that I don't moan at the boys and girls, because they're happy Saturdays. 22 hours ago, Troop Commander Aaron struggled to leave Camp Price.
Aaron's stuck! The main entrance! Stuck even before we left camp.
Now Aaron's driver thinks he knows who's to blame.
Driver error. Commander's error. I was busy commanding the vehicle, checking maps. About 2 seconds later, I looked up and taxi had got stuck in what appeared to be nothing. It was the commander's error.
Overall responsibility lies with the commander.
Then it was my fault. Then it was my fault.
It's your fault.
I'm sorry, Adrian.
It's your responsibility.
It was.
Being taxed.
But it was the driver error.
Major McIntyre, however, is more concerned about the enemy threat. The Taliban have been hunting the convoy since it left Camp Bastion. So far they've been lucky. They avoided a suspected suicide bomber, but the threat of attack remains. Taliban spies, known as Dickers, are emerging again.
Just trying to get ascertain pattern of life, if there's anything untoward. There's a few motorcycles going about. There could be someone just going about their normal daily business, or could be a potential dicker.
If the operation commander is right, the Taliban spy will pass intelligence on to fighters, and it won't be long before the convoy is targeted again.
Aaron, just down the compound, just get your whiskey call signs just to suss over there, round to the start of the green zone.
As Troop Commander Aaron heads off to hunt for insurgents, the rest of the road warriors get ready to leave. Not long after, Major McIntyre's fear that they could be targeted proves correct.
That's a boom.
The Taliban has launched a mortar attack.
There was some form of explosion.
They know the first strike will be closely followed by another.
Just push another 30 metres!
Under attack, the trucks have to get moving.
Push that way.
Gav, let's go! You can't stop! Let's go!
Under the cover of darkness, the Taliban are closing in around them.
They've targeted the patrol here in the legal position.
Sergeant Major Larry Lumsden issues strict instructions.
Go down both your lines and make sure that the guys are not using any form of white light. Roger, so far of it.
We've gone on to light discipline, so the guys can't smoke, they can't have no white light or anything on around. But in the league of air now, we've got one of the vehicles and it's overheated.
Get that hooked up now as a matter of priority. Just saying everything's ready. Right, reverse back, Gav.
With the imminent threat, it's imperative they move fast. But operating with only infrared light makes judging the terrain a nightmare.
Hey, fucking ditches! Wait, is that Delta Cosine bogged in there?
These impossible conditions are causing gaps in the convoy.
Fucking hell!
A safe route has been marked out with glow sticks because an explosive has been discovered hidden in the sand. But in the darkness, one truck is off course and heading directly towards the hidden bomb. If the driver doesn't stop, he risks detonating the device. The blast could be lethal.
Staff, get into the back of this wagon!
And would reveal the position of the entire convoy to the pursuing Taliban.
What's he fucking doing?
Operation Commander Major McIntyre is the first to notice.
Hey! Hey! Stop! You stop! Fucking dick!
He runs after the truck through desert sands that may be hiding bombs.
Stop! Stop!
If he can't get the driver's attention, it could be fatal.
Open the fucking door! Open the door! What are you fucking doing? Turn round and follow that mastiff that you were following earlier!
If Major McIntyre hadn't warned the truck it was heading for a bomb, the result could have been disastrous.
Okay. Let's see if we can get going now.
He gets straight on with the mission by forging a route away from the enemy threat.
Keep going on this track! Keep going, keep going! That's it, well done!
Come on, you fucker.
Right, follow it round to the left, Gav. Round to the left.
They're now driving over ground that hasn't been checked for bombs. In a country with more hidden explosives than any other, it's a game of chance. After 3 more hours of cautious progress, avoiding improvised explosive devices known as IEDs, the road warriors make it back onto Highway 1 for the journey home.
Fortunately for us, the Americans have gone through before us. And in one of the craters that was created by one of the IEDs that's happened before, the sneaky little bastards have put another IED in the same crater.
Fortunately, the bomb has already been discovered and dealt with.
That's what an IED does. Look at the crater there.
That's like 4 IEDs in 3 days that's been either found or detonated on that road. So there's still plenty more to come, and there's plenty more on there. You just need to be vigilant, as always, and then hopefully we'll be back in time for breakfast in about 3 or 4 hours.
The road warriors have been out of camp for 3 exhausting days.
I will be glad to get back.
On his last tour, John's co-driver died from a roadside bomb. For him, a successful mission has a very personal significance.
We did what we set out to do. Delivered stores and they all come back alive. Nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't have missed this tour for the world. Some good guys on it, some of the best guys I've worked with are on this tour. So it'd be good to finish on a high note.
We're here to try and restore the faith of the population and try and get them working for themselves. You know, we're here to make a difference, and hopefully we're doing that.
They've completed their mission, battled through adversity, and dealt with everything the elements and the Taliban could throw at them. But now, the safety of Camp Bastion is a welcome relief.
Well, the young boys are probably all looking forward to going and listen to some rap music or some shit or whatever it is they do. I'm just looking forward to being an old bastard and going home and have a cup of tea.
No, it's good to be back, and there's a sense of achievement, but also a bit of relief because it was quite a substantial threat on that one. So, all in all, pretty good.
I've had this kit on now for 3 days, just about. I stink. I want to shower, and then you hear that? My mat was calling. I'm going to bed.
Do a bit of bronzing, and then I'll do an hour in the gym tonight.
All right, Davis. How'd it go?
All right.
Oh, shut up, you fucking monster.
Next time on Road Warriors.
Black smoke, which is never a good sign, is it?
Get eyes left, see what they're firing at.
There could be anyone pointing anything at us.
Hate sandstorms, me.
Stop, stop, stop! Right!
Right, keep going, give it some, come on!
Pulling bitches out of ditches. That's what it's all about.
No.